Two trusting 20-somethings out to see the world. Two sleeping bags. One heinous double homicide. Shocking unsolved crime number 18 is the murder of Jason Allen and Lindsay Cutshall. The year, 2004. The location, Rock and Water Christian Adventure Camp in Kelowna, California. Jason Allen and Lindsay Cutshall were spending an idyllic summer working as camp counselors. Jason was a 26-year-old Bible college grad from Michigan. Lindsay was a 22-year-old pastor's daughter from Ohio. They were in love and engaged to be married that fall.
About 6 weeks after they had met, he had actually asked me for her hand in marriage. And once we got to know Jason better, we realized that he was the right guy for her and they were a great match.
On Friday, August 13th, as their work at the camp was winding down, Jason and Lindsay hopped in the car for a weekend getaway. The two Midwesterners wanted to see some Northern California sights before heading home for their wedding. They never made it to the altar.
Kathy, my wife, got a call from the camp asking us if we knew where Jason and Lindsay were. And right away, we knew something was terribly wrong.
The urgency grew and grew to where we came to a place where it was like, there's something definitely wrong.
On Wednesday the 18th, those fears were confirmed.
Our sheriff's helicopter located the victims in sleeping bags.
He noticed that there were sleeping bags on the beach, but he also recognized that no one was moving. So that's when the police checked it out, and they came and discovered their bodies there on the beach.
The victims, Lindsay Cutshall and Jason Allen, were discovered deceased on the Sonoma coast north of Jenner.
Chris called me on the phone and he said, are you alone? And I said, yeah, I'm alone. And I went out to the garage and he told me that. He said, Lindsay is dead and Jason's dead. And that was really hard. It was a defining moment in my life.
They'd each been shot once in the head by a .45 caliber Marlin rifle.
It appears that the killer came up, shot them, and simply disappeared.
You don't know what provoked it, and you don't know whether anybody's safe if they're in the same situation.
It seems to be just a random, senseless act of killing.
Detectives followed hundreds of leads and questioned nearly everybody in the nearby town of Jenner. There weren't many clues. Nothing of value was missing, and there was no evidence of sexual assault. Investigators found a journal in a driftwood structure nearby.
People would go in and make journal entries. Just random things were written down in the book.
Both Jason and Lindsay wrote in that notebook. And Lindsay talked about the sunset. And Jason wrote about the wonder of his relationship with Lindsay. And those were just wonderful gifts that shared their heart with us just hours before their deaths.
The book had been out there for probably 2 to 3 months prior to this incident occurring. So if anybody had made a journal entry in there, we would like them to come forward and just talk to us about, their observations.
A Camo 40 beer bottle left near the scene was a brand available only at a few local specialty stores.
It may or may not have been left there, by the person involved in this case.
Investigators were also looking for a vehicle that was reportedly parked north of the beach.
We'd like the person who owns this vehicle to come forward and talk to us. They may have witnessed something significant related to this case.
In September 2004, Lindsay's father had planned to officiate at his daughter's wedding. Instead, he presided over her funeral.
They're in heaven, and that gives us great comfort. But at the same time, there's great pain.
Jason and Lindsay's ashes were buried together, 2 miles from Lindsay's childhood home. A $50,000 reward remains unclaimed.
We feel that there is somebody out in the public at this point who has information that would help the Sheriff's Department solve this crime.
There's not a day that goes by that we do not grieve. But there's not a day that goes by that we do not thank God for Jason and Lindsay. And we're also very grateful for the many lives that have been touched and changed because of this tragedy.
Coming up, a series of senseless and random murders Or are they? Plus,
I came up to the car and he was lying across with his head on the steering wheel.